Hello, today me and my mom will be talking about ocean pollution and the problems about it. So, what are your thoughts on ocean pollution?
Well, hi, Riley. Thank you for having me. I think this is going to be an interesting discussion for us. As you know, I am a scuba diver. What that means is that I actually dive underwater, and I feel like people understand how important ocean pollution is when they see it wash up on the shores. They see it on the beaches, they see it at the lakes. You see pictures of all kinds of trash washing up on the shores. Um, but what most people don't understand is how much larger of a problem it actually is when you consider the underwater world as a part of just a whole part of our planet. When you're under the water and you see certain things, it's just heartbreaking. There's so much plastic. There is a fishing line is a huge one. Fish get caught up in the fishing line. It strangles them. I've actually worked with a couple of people to get a turtle out of the water and get a hook um, out from its head to try to release it because it was all tangled up with a hook and some fishing wire. Um, I just think that when you see it on the land and then you also see it underwater, you realize how much of a problem it really is.
I agree with that answer. Now, have you ever seen anybody trying to fix this problem of the pollution?
I have actually. I've been a part of it before. There's an ocean cleanup that they do on the island of Bonaire near South America, um, which, as you know, is my favorite scuba diving destination. And once a year, they have an underwater cleanup where you're provided with great big giant bags, and you go down there with gloves on and pick up all the trash and try to get the hooks out of the um, coral and out of the sponges and the fishing line and just get all that cleaned up to make it look more like it's supposed to look.
So, what are some things that we could do as people to prevent this from getting worse?
Well, obviously, not throw trash out. I think recycling is huge. We recycle our plastics instead of throwing them out. The single use water bottles are huge. People take them out on boats. You're out on the boat all day. You may not even mean to do it. But once you drink the water, the wind blows. Guess where that water bottle's going? Right into the ocean. It's going to sink to the bottom or it's going to wash up on a shore somewhere. There's a huge problem with that. I feel like if we start with that, with the recycling, that's going to make a huge difference. Single use containers, big coolers when you're out on the beach, when you're out on a boat, instead of the individual drinks, just those kinds of small things are going to have a very large impact.
Do you have any final thoughts for the people listening to this podcast?
I do. I would just say to be very self aware when you're out, when you're on the water. We're talking about ocean pollution, but any kind of body of water, a lake, a river, anything like that. Just be very mindful and be self aware that you're not throwing your trash, that your trash isn't blowing off the boat or blowing off of your blanket into the ocean or dropping off into the water. Um, don't put your trash out. Just those kinds of things. Some of it sounds very basic, but I honestly feel like with those small steps, if everyone takes those small steps, it could have a very big impact on our earth.
I completely agree with that. So, thank you for your time.
Thank you for having me.